This 1801 Constitution declared slavery forever abolished, affirmed equality before the law, regardless of color, established Catholicism as the state religion, confirmed that Saint-Domingue remained part of the French Empire. Crucially, named Toussaint Louverture Governor-General for life, with the power to designate his successor. To many in France, this looked like near independence in all but name, a colony that had kept the French flag but asserted broad autonomy under a powerful local leader. In metropolitan France, the political winds had shifted again. In 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte became first consul, gradually concentrating power in his hands. He admired Toussaint's energy but resented his independence. Napoleon had two linked goals: rebuild a profitable French Caribbean empire, re-establish firm metropolitan control over Saint-Domingue. He had already shown his willingness to reverse emancipation. In Guadeloupe, another French Caribbean colony, the Republic's abolition of slavery had been overturned by force in 1802 with brutal repression. In Paris, the law of May 20th, 1802, 30 Floreal Year X, reinstated slavery in colonies where it had not been effectively abolished, a signal of the new regime's priorities. For Saint-Domingue, Napoleon prepared a massive intervention. In early 1802, he dispatched an expeditionary force of perhaps 20,000 to 30,000 troops, one of the largest transatlantic operations of the age, under the command of his brother-in-law, General Charles Leclerc. Officially, Leclerc was to restore order and confirm emancipation. Secretly, his instructions envisaged curbing Toussaint's power and, if possible, rolling back the revolutionary transformation. The campaign that followed was brutal on all sides. When Leclerc's armada arrived, some of Toussaint's lieutenants, such as Henri Christophe, initially resisted fiercely, burning Cap Français rather than surrendering it. Others wavered or negotiated. Leclerc tried a mixture of force and promises, playing on rivalries among black and mixed-race officers. At moments, he gained the temporary cooperation of leaders like Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who were motivated by survival, local interests, or distrust of Toussaint's dominance. For months in 1802, fighting raged across the colony. Plantations burned again, towns changed hands, atrocities multiplied. But a new and deadly ally entered the war: yellow fever and other tropical diseases. French troops, unacclimated to the Caribbean, began to die in massive numbers. Disease killed far more of Napoleon's soldiers than combat did. Entire units withered away in a matter of weeks. Under mounting pressure, Toussaint negotiated. In June 1802, he agreed to lay down arms in exchange for assurances of safety and the preservation of freedom for the formerly enslaved population. Those assurances proved worthless. In June 1802, under cover of a supposed invitation to parley, French officers arrested Toussaint Louverture. He was shipped to France and imprisoned in the cold, damp Fort de Joux in the Jura Mountains. There, cut off from news of his homeland, he died on April 7, 1803, likely of illness aggravated by harsh conditions. Before he left, he is reputed to have issued a warning to his captors. "In overthrowing me, you have cut down in Saint-Domingue only the trunk of the tree of liberty. It will spring up again from the roots, for they are numerous and deep." Events would prove him right. After Toussaint's removal, the French authorities moved more openly to roll back black power and, in practice if not yet in law, to edge toward a restoration of plantation slavery. They disarmed local troops, deported suspected opponents, and curtailed autonomy. This was a fatal error. Many black officers and soldiers who had cooperated with the French now saw clearly that their freedom, and that of their families, was in mortal danger. In 1802 to 1803, key leaders such as Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Henri Christophe, along with others including Alexander Pétion, broke definitively with the French and launched a new war, this time not as generals of the Republic, but as commanders of a war of independence. Guerrilla tactics, scorched earth policies, and targeted attacks on French positions spread. Enslaved people and formerly enslaved laborers flocked once again to armed camps. Plantation society, so recently rebuilt, shattered anew. Disease continued to ravage the French army. By some estimates, of the more than 30,000 troops sent by Napoleon, only a small fraction survived. Leclerc himself died of yellow fever in November 1802. His successor, Rochambeau, presided over an increasingly desperate and brutal campaign, marked by atrocities such as using attack dogs against black fighters, cruelties that hardened Haitian resolve. The decisive conventional battle came on November 18, 1803, at Vertières, near Cap Français. There, Haitian forces under Dessalines and his lieutenants confronted the remaining French troops in pitched combat. Despite French artillery and training, disease thinned ranks and low morale undercut their effectiveness. The Haitians prevailed. Shortly afterward, French forces capitulated and arranged to evacuate. Napoleon's dream of re-enslaving Saint-Domingue was dead. On January 1, 1804, in the town of Gonâves, Jean-Jacques Dessalines proclaimed the independence of the former colony and restored an indigenous name to the land. Haiti, from the Taino word often rendered as Ayatai, meaning land of high mountains. Haiti became the first black republic in the modern world, the second independent state in the Western Hemisphere after the United States. The site of the only large-scale successful slave revolution in history that overthrew slavery and colonial rule and created a sovereign state. The Haitian Revolution had defeated the forces of three European powers, France, Spain, and Britain, over the course of more than a decade of conflict. Its impact rippled far beyond the Caribbean. It terrified slaveholding societies in the Americas, from the southern United States to Brazil, where elites saw in Haiti a warning of what enslaved majorities could do. It inspired the enslaved and the oppressed, providing a living example that a world built on racial slavery could be overturned. Rumors and news of Saint-Domingue circulated in ports and plantations from Charleston to Caracas. It helped shape Napoleon's decision to sell Louisiana to the United States in 1803. Without Saint-Domingue as the linchpin of his Caribbean empire, holding vast mainland territories made less sense. The Louisiana Purchase doubled the size of the young United States and altered North American history. Independence, however, did not end struggle. In 1804, Dessalines, now head of the new state, and soon to crown himself Emperor Jacques I, authorized or allowed the massacres of many of the remaining French colonists. He and others argued that leaving a population of resentful former masters alive on Haitian soil would invite reconquest and renewed slavery. The killings, concentrated particularly in early 1804, have left a deep scar in Haitian and French memories and remain a subject of moral and historical debate. Political divisions also soon emerged within Haiti's leadership, between figures like Dessalines, Christophe, Pétion, and others, often along lines of region, color, and class. After Dessalines' assassination in 1806, the country split into rival polities for years, a kingdom in the north under Christophe, a republic in the south and west under Pétion, later reunified but marked by persistent internal tensions. Externally, Haiti faced diplomatic and economic isolation. Slaveholding powers and many European states were reluctant to recognize a republic born of a slave uprising, fearing its example. Trade continued, but political recognition lagged. In 1825, under King Charles X, France demanded an indemnity as the price of formal recognition. Haiti was forced to agree to pay a colossal sum, initially 150 million francs, later reduced but still crushing, ostensibly to compensate former French colonists for lost property, including enslaved people. To meet these payments, Haiti took on international loans, diverting a large share of its revenues for decades. That indemnity and related debts weighed heavily on Haitian finances throughout the 19th century, draining resources that might otherwise have gone into infrastructure, education, and development. Saint-Domingue's uprising began in 1791 as a cry for freedom on scorched cane fields and in secret night meetings. Over 13 years, it became a war of liberation that toppled a slave system, shattered a cornerstone of European colonial wealth, and forced the world to confront a new political reality. Black men and women, many of them born in chains, could defeat the greatest armies of their day and found a sovereign state on the principle that no one should be a slave. Toussaint Louverture's strategic brilliance and long-range vision, Dessalines' ferocity and determination, Christophe's and Pétion's resilience, all were instrumental in carving out a future where none had been allowed. The Haitian Revolution did not wait for permission from Paris, London, or Washington. It took freedom, and in doing so, it changed the Atlantic world, reshaping debates about race, rights, empire, and revolution for centuries to come.